What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back again for another Tottenham update for you guys. And with January fast approaching, the news is really hotting up when it comes to some incomings. But before we get into all the news, go check out our website, WeAreTottenhamTV.com, for all the latest articles, and leave a comment on the articles as well. And we will be doing a show reacting to the comments, and the winner of the person who leaves the best comment will be getting some free merch as well. So go check out We Are Tottenham TV. Would really appreciate all the support on launching our website. But without further ado, let's get into some of the transfer news surrounding Spurs over the last 24 hours. And we'll start off with Radu because a lot of information coming out about him over the last in the last 24 hours. Damasio says Genoa's starting valuation of Dragusin is at 30 million euros, given the various interests that come from abroad, especially from Tottenham as well as Atalanta. However, Fabrizio Romano says that Dragusin will sign a new deal at Genoa in the coming days, according to director Ottolini. Ottolini is quoted saying he's the next one to sign a new deal until June 2028. His salary will be improved. There's no 30 million euro release clause in his current deal, despite reports. However, Dragusin's agent, Florian Menier, has replied to that, saying there are many rumours, a lot of articles that appear. There is currently no concrete and black and white written offer. We are in no rush to leave. Radu Dragusin has a contract until the summer 26. For now, we are evaluating. We are not making a decision now related to the extension of a contract with Genoa. I think that the statement from the official from Genoa is taken wrongly. There is no extension agreement. If we sign the extension, we will only do it for one more year until 2027. There is no rush to make a decision. We'll see what happens in the transfer window, and if an important offer comes, we will consider it. So, seems to be a bit of a conflicting stuff coming out of the Dragusin camp at the moment. Genoa officials thinking one thing, his agent saying another thing. Where do you think the truth lies?
I think Romano shoots and he misses. Once
well,
again.
I mean, it's the Genoa director saying it. It's not Romano saying it.
Romano's giving us the information, though, so we're going to blame him for it, aren't we? So,
of course.
Look, I think Dragusin, we did a update on him, like delving deeper in the stats. He looks okay. He looks like one of the ones that we would like to bring in. I like the fact that he came through at Juventus and Paratici was the one to bring him through there. And I like the talent ID that Paratici has shown for us so far. So I'll be very much in favour of bringing him in. I think there are other targets who we will get onto a bit later on in the video that I would prefer more than him. But I find it funny, these like conflicting reports that come out on the same day. It's like when we saw the report of the contract yesterday, we were like having visions of Arne Slot all over again, the same kind of thing happening. Now the agent is trying to put cold water on it. And it kind of makes sense for this to come out from the agent, because he always is going to want what's best for his client, right? And what's best for his client is probably to move to the Premier League to get bigger wages. So he's obviously going to be trying to maneuver that move a bit more than staying at Genoa. But I got a feeling like maybe once Spurs do sign a centre-back, or later on in the transfer window, if it's not Dragusin we push the button on, then that contract will probably be agreed for Dragusin in Genoa.
And he's probably driving up a high salary as well, isn't he? Because you don't want to show your hand too quickly about the willingness to sign a contract, and you want to put out that, his interest, and basically just drives up the wage that his client can get. And I think it's clever work from the agent, but there does seem to be some willingness to sign a contract even until 2027, the agent admits. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with him in January. But it does seem like a classic situation of someone using Spurs to get a better contract. That's not the first time that's ever happened, so no shocks there. Next up, really interesting stuff coming out about Jean-Claire Todibo, the centre-back from Nice. Tom Barkley of The Sun is saying that Tottenham have begun talks with Nice over a possible deal for Jean-Claire Todibo. The centre-back is valued at over £30 million. And Romano today has tweeted about the situation. He did say yesterday he was going to have some information about Tottenham centre-back search, and he has now said, understand Tottenham have now opened open talks to sign Jean-Claire Todibo in January. He's high on the Tottenham list. Not an easy deal to do with Nice, but talks are now starting. Spurs also spoke to the players' camp in recent days to explain their project. Todibo remains also on Man United's list since June. I mean, very exciting news if this one is progressing. It does seem as though, we've heard from multiple sources now, reliable sources as well, that Tottenham are currently in talks over a deal for Todibo. So it does definitely seem like one we're serious about. But obviously, Romano saying not an easy deal to do, and he's still on Man United's list. So some work to do before we get too excited about this deal, but seems to be going in the right direction.
Definitely, but has there ever been a deal with Spurs reported by Romano where he hasn't said it's a hard deal to do? Every single time he's linking us with a player, it's a hard deal to do. It's a hard deal to do. But do you expect anything less when Daniel Levy is our chairman? To be honest, but this is the one that really excites me. In the video that we did yesterday, we were saying how he was both of our number one targets. I think he suits everything that we're trying to do here from centre back. I think he has every single attribute we want to see from a centre back, and it's not like you're bringing him in as a backup. You're bringing him to provide competition for places. He's on the same level as a Cuti Romero, as a Mickey van der Ven. He's of that caliber of a centre back, in my opinion. So I think it's an unbelievable transfer if we can get it done. And if it's the reports are true and it's like 35 million, that's an absolute steal for someone of that quality, in my opinion. So I think it would be crazy if we could get Todibo in January. But having said that, Romano seems to be a bit of a tap-in agent at the moment. I don't know what's going on with him. He's just bringing the same news as what everyone else has brought over the past 24 hours. But what I would say, as I said before, he shoots and he misses. He shoots and he scores for this one.
100%. Whenever it's good news, it's always believable. What's interesting is that Spurs are currently speaking to Todibo's the players' camp in the recent days, trying to show them the project, and that's going to be a crucial element of this because we've got to show him how our centre backs like to play, and also what Ange is building here. And maybe if Man United do come in for him, and that could be a big difference because how the football we've been playing since the beginning of the season hopefully will attract someone like Todibo to want to be part of this project, whereas Man United, it looks a bit different. So let's hope that can sway him. Obviously, Man United still got a lot of pull, but hopefully that element of it, the project element of it, which maybe we wouldn't have had last season, can really go a long way to swaying someone like Todibo to maybe reject Man United.
100%. I think Spurs are a more attractive proposition in this moment in time than Manchester United. Now Ange has come in, you're seeing the players that we've got and the style of football that we're playing. I think it's a really attractive proposition for a young player like Todibo, who's looking to, stamp his authority in the French national team as well. So you're looking at it and you're looking at the players that signed here under Ange Postecoglou, James Maddison and Mickey van der Ven. Let's just take them two as an example. Both of them have come out and said how exciting it was just to speak to Ange Postecoglou before joining the club and to hear about the project and to hear about the way that this club is going in. And I think we're all seeing this in front of our eyes now.
100%. Next story coming out of Spain. It's from Mundo Deportivo and it's regarding Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg, and they claim that Pini Zahavi, who is Hojbjerg's agent, has met with Barcelona president Juan Laporta last night to discuss the club signing the Tottenham Hotspur midfielder. Now, Laporte said a couple of days ago that due to FFP, Barcelona will only be looking at loan deals really in January. So is that a viable option, Hojbjerg moving out on loan? If would Spurs consider that, and unless there's like an obligation to buy involved in that, considering we're short of options? Would we loan him out with the view of signing someone else with the prospect of Hojbjerg coming back and signing another midfielder? Is that a possibility? Or is this just, I don't know, it just going to Barcelona on loan seems like something Tottenham wouldn't be interested in.
Yeah, I mean, Javi there was reports from Romano, quotes from Javi today saying that they need to sign a midfielder with similar attributes to Gavi, who's obviously out for the rest of the season. I'm not sure if Hojbjerg has got the exact same kind of attributes as Gavi has, but in terms of what you're saying, that are we willing to listen to loan offers for Hojbjerg? I don't think we are. to be honest. I think we're only looking to sell him outright, and that's only if we can bring in a replacement. Like if we sell Hojbjerg, literally we've got no midfield options for the month of January. So I don't know. I think if the AFCON, in a weird way, if the AFCON wasn't happening, I think there's more likelihood of this deal going through. But now that AFCON is here, Sar's going, Bissouma's going, Maddison's just coming back from injury, Bentancur's out injured. I just can't see us being able to let Hojbjerg go unless we bring in a replacement beforehand. And the only way he does go, if it is a loan, it has to be with an obligation at the end of it, because otherwise we're just doing Barcelona a favour for literally no reason of our own, no gain of our own.
Yeah, I'm trying to think in the summer as well. I believe the fact that the only deals coming in for him were loans, I think, was a bit of a sticking point for Tottenham letting him go. So unless that position has changed, I don't see Tottenham being willing to let Hojbjerg go to Barcelona on loan in January. But maybe their position has changed. They're willing to loan him out and maybe spending money on Gallagher with a view of letting Hojbjerg go in the summer and thinking getting him out on loan just frees up a space and we can get someone in who's more suited to Ange, and then we can think about selling him in the summer. Maybe that's a position we can take, but that would be a different position to the one we had in the summer. So we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. Last one is coming from Ojogo in Portugal, and this is regarding Eric Dier. They are saying that Sporting Lisbon are worried by the recent approach from Fenerbahce to sign Eric Dier next month. The Portuguese side want to sign him in the summer as a free agent, as they cannot afford to pay a fee in addition to matching his current Tottenham salary. So looks like Dier is kind of serious kind of option for Lisbon at the moment. Do you see them spending money on him in January just to preempt getting preventing him signing for anyone else, or do you think that's they're also saying they want to wait to sign him on a free? So I do see that being the most likely option. But do you think there's any chance that if Fenerbahce come in, he will jump at the chance to go there?
I think now that Lisbon have if this report is true and Lisbon are making their stance clear and they really want him back, I think Dier hasn't made it any secret that he does want to go one day back to Lisbon, back to his home, where he came through the ranks there. So in my opinion, what Spurs should be doing right now is we should be doing the right thing. And what the right thing is, we're not going to use him from now to the end of the season, regardless if he goes to Fenerbahce or not. We're looking to bring in a centre-back. Just pay the guy off. Pay the guy off for his remainder of his contract and let him go back home and let him go to Lisbon. He's been a good servant for the club. He's been here for many years. He's not good enough to be here anymore. Ange doesn't want to use him. And he doesn't want to use him so much that he wants to put fullbacks at centre-back as opposed to using him. So just pay him off his contract, man, and let him go to Lisbon. That's what I say.
Yeah, I agree, especially if we do actually get a centre-back in January as well. Like, there'll literally be no need for him. Even now, there's barely a need for him anyway. I don't like the situation with, Dier sitting there on the bench with fullbacks being picked ahead of him. I don't like it in a sense that he probably just feels disrespected. He feels like he's not valued. And unfortunately, that is the case. But for a player who's been at the club for as long as he has, coming up on 10 years in the summer, I don't like that it's ended like this in this kind of way. And it's just ended. It just probably leaves a sour taste in his mouth that this is the way it's ended. So I would like the situation to not go on any longer, and hopefully this can be resolved in January. I just worry that it probably will drag on for another 6 months, and he'll probably leave on a free, and it'll just end on a sour note, which is not great. We've already had that pretty much with Hugo Lloris, to be honest, and I just wouldn't want that to happen again with another long-serving player. So let's hope this can happen. Something can happen in January, but unfortunately, this is the situation we're in.
It'll be a nice gesture, won't it, from the club if they were just to pay him off for the rest of his contract. It is only 6 months left, and for all the hard, we all know he's not good enough, but it's never nice to see someone as a centre-back, seeing a senior centre-back at the football club being shunted to the bench when you've got backup fullbacks playing ahead of him at centre-back. So I really do think that we should show that gesture to him, give him the payoff, let him go to Lisbon, as opposed to... Because why would he leave? Because he's not going to get better contract at Lisbon or at Fenerbahce. So why would he leave right now when he could just literally wait down his contract and get a signing on fee and have the pick of who he wants to go? If his pick is Lisbon, Just do the deal now. There's no reason why not. And give him his last hurrah against Everton this weekend.
Even if it's a case of just give him to Lisbon for free and just let him take up, and then let them pay the wages instead of just any transfer fee, forego any transfer.
That's
fee.
what I'm saying. Lisbon won't pay those wages, so I don't think Lisbon would.
But
pay
why
those
not?
wages.
But why not? You're basically picking him up you're paying him for 6 months. You're gonna have to pay the wages in 6 months anyway. It's like if you can use him this season, you can just pay him a contract. Like you're not paying any transfer fee.
I don't think that if he runs down his contract in 6 months that he gets the same wages he's here and he gets it at Lisbon. I think it's still going to be a decrease in wages.
It might be, but there's more chance he'll demand more wages if he goes on a free than if he leaves with 6 months left. You can maybe negotiate paying him lower wages. Then if he leaves on a complete free, then you're going to have to, I think, maybe demand he might have, because I think players who leave on Bosmans usually command higher wages than players who don't. So I think that's also something to consider. Maybe there is a deal to be done in January, but we'll have to wait and see.
Higher wages than what he would normally get. What he's on at Tottenham, I don't think anyone in world football will probably match those wages anymore for what he's shown. So the fact of the matter is, Dier is in the twilight of his career now, albeit he's not that old, 30 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
But for what he's showing on a football pitch, he's on the twilight of his career. And going back to Lisbon, going back to his home, I think kind of shows that. So just do the right thing, Tottenham. Pay him off for the rest of his contract. It's only 6 months, and you're going to have to pay it anyway if you don't do it. So just do it.
All right. That is all for today's Tottenham Update. Let me know in the comment section below any thoughts about what we spoke about today. Don't forget to check out our website, WeAreTottenhamTV.com. But that is all for today's Tottenham Update. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.